Hey everyone, it's Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. Back today to preview our midweek game against Bristol City. Of course, Norwich City's last scheduled game against Burnley was postponed. It was supposed to take place on Friday night, but due to the passing of Queen Elizabeth, that didn't take place. But the EFL does return this week with Bristol City midweek and then probably West Brom on Saturday, all going well. This is a really fascinating week for Norwich City. I think there's been that week when we played Huddersfield and Millwall, felt like a big week just in terms of the season. That kind of felt make or break. This week feels as if it's a real test for Norwich City. I think we'll figure out just where we are after the next two games. Certainly our two toughest tests of the season so far. Burnley would have been arguably the toughest of the three games, but Bristol City and West Brom, both two sides. Bristol City probably not as expected to be up there, but they've started the season really nicely. West Brom probably going to be up there towards the end of the season. Thankfully for the Canaries, no fresh injury news. Of course, we haven't played a game since our last win against Coventry. Norwich have trained. They actually travelled up to Burnley. They travelled up the Thursday night. The game was then postponed on the Friday. But they did train at Accrington Stanley. A big thanks to BetMate, who are sponsoring all of our preview videos this season. A link to download the app is in the description with a code to get yourself a free £5 bet. There's going to be a pot for the midweek action and also the weekend action. So well worth checking out. Really big fan of the guys over at BetMate. In terms of injury news that is a good thing, it looks as if Liam Gibbs and Isaac Hayden should be returning on the other side of the September international break. Two very important players for Norwich going forwards. It's going to be interesting to see how Isaac Hayden fares after not having a pre-season. Liam Gibbs looked really influential in the couple of games he played. So that's going to be really pleasing. Also, pleasing news around Dimitri Yanoulis. He's back without a boot on. He's doing rehabilitation. I think some people are hopefully expecting that he won't be out for as long as maybe first feared. So three good bits of news there. In terms of this game, it's really interesting. I mean, Bristol City are in fine form. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. They actually lost their opening 2 games of the season, but since then are unbeaten. They beat Blackburn 3-2 last time out. Nahki Wells has been on fire this season. He scored a good few goals for them. And Bristol City have moved themselves up to 4th in the division. So it's second playing 4th. Norwich, of course, winning 5 in a row. It feels like it's been quite a while since we played against Coventry. That game was very routine, expecting far more challenges from Bristol City this time around. Nice that we've got 2 home games again and we can really start to build up some form of run here. Currently second place in the table behind Sheffield United. I think having looked at the side we put out against Coventry, it's hard to see there being too many changes. I think the thing that really intrigues me is how Dean Smith plays the Sargent Pukki combination going forwards, because I think it's undoubted that Sargent isn't as good playing as a winger. Having said that, against Coventry, playing in a 2 with Pukki, Sargent out on the wing, you'd say Pukki was more the out-and-out striker. Did actually work. Sargent scored, Pukki scored. It was a nice assist from Pukki to square it in. They look more fluid than they have done before. So I think that intrigues me hugely. I think ideally you have both players on the pitch, and that kind of fluidity that we saw against Coventry remains throughout the course of this season. I'm just not sure if that will be the intended way of going about things. Aaron Ramsey is another interesting player, because I think a lot of people, when they saw his name on the team sheet against Coventry, thought, does he deserve to be in there? Actually, against Sunderland, he was very good when he came on as a substitute, got the assist for the Sargent goal, and was very good against Coventry with an assist in that game as well. So Aaron Ramsey looks composed, looks like a more probably composed winger than Onel Hernandez. I think Onel Hernandez is a fantastic attribute to have off the bench, particularly in this division. The defence settles me hugely. I think the combination of Big Andy and Grant Hanley is looking really nice. I like that centre-back pairing. Sam Byram, I'm sure, was glad deep down that the Burnley game didn't go ahead. It means he's got an extra week of recovery in his legs, which is brilliant. Max Aarons has been superb throughout this season, and Tim Krul in goal, who will be challenged by Angus Gunn, has been good throughout the season as well. So there's options for Dean Smith, and I think that's important because not many Championship managers have that kind of have that ability to rotate. We do have those options to do exactly that. I mean, you look at the bench for what we had against Coventry. Kieran Dowell, Gabriel Sara, Onil Hernandez, Jordan Hugill, Daniel Sinani, Angus Gunn, Ben Gibson. You've got 7 players there that would start in the majority of Championship teams. Genuinely. I mean, there's some real talent in there. I think Gabriel Sara, it'll be intriguing to see how he progresses throughout this season. We paid, I think, close to £10 million for him. He hasn't really featured too much this season. It's still Kenny McLean and Marcelino Nunez who are getting the nod in the midfield. I think that is going to be fascinating to see how that goes when Isaac Hayden and Liam Gibbs are back in the mix as well. But I think I'd go relatively unchanged for this game. It's going to be more of a test than Coventry. It feels winnable. I think our defence is going to have to be far more on it than they were against Coventry. So really, really looking forward to this one. And looking forward to this week. I think by the time we finish against West Brom on Saturday, we'll really know where Norwich City are. Because the amount of people I've spoken to this season, yes, everyone's happy that we're in the top 2 and we've won our last 5, but there's still the consensus that we still haven't had a proper test. And I think it's hard to know how the rest of this season will play out having not had that. So I'm looking forward to this week. I'm fully expecting us to go well again. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section below. A reminder of our sponsors, BetMate. You can sign up to them using the link in the description. Use the code down there as well for a free £5 bet. And I will see you all at Carrow Road this week. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.